Don't be a weirdo.
Don't be a weirdo. Don't be a weirdo. Don't be a weirdo. Don't be a weirdo.
Ding, fries are done. Ding, fries are done. Like, why? Why is my brain like a Google?
Welcome to the Elite Life Podcast with your hosts, Trisha and Kylee. Here, we guide you on a journey of personal and professional transformation, revealing the secrets to success. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, join us as we unlock the doors to the elite world of growth, grit, and grace. So, let's dive in.
Welcome, friends, to another episode of the Elite Life Podcast. I am Trish, and with me, as always, is the incredible, beautiful, wonderful Kylee.
Thank you. I'm so glad you didn't say incredible edible, because every time someone says incredible, I think the incredible edible egg.
Well, that's interesting. Today we are going to explore the art of living life to the fullest.
Yay! All right, that sounds good. And, we're going to talk about, let's start over.
We're going to talk about if you're an extrovert or an introvert.
I'm feeling introverted. I'm very self-conscious about our intro this time.
That's okay. You can feel self-conscious about it. It was absolutely fantastic. And since I like to pretend I'm an extrovert, I'm going to keep this train running.
All right. So as entrepreneurs, we end up having to attend a ton of social events.
I don't like that. I don't like it.
And we have to make the most out of them, okay? But guess what? We've got a game plan for you all out there to survive these events and these social gatherings. So we are going to tell you about some tips and tricks that'll help you to navigate these gatherings, these client events, community things. But Trisha, you're supposed to ask me to confess something.
Are you an extrovert or an introvert?
What do you think?
I would say extrovert.
I am an extrovert.
I am an introvert, which shocks people. It shocks people. They're like, you're not an introvert. You are on Facebook Live. You have a podcast. You are all over the world.
Because she does things that make her uncomfortable. See, I'm kind of the same way. So everybody's like, oh, you're an extrovert. And like, I'm great. You want a presentation done? I can do that. You want a sales pitch? I can do that. You want someone to lead training? I can do that. But you put me in a room at a kid's birthday party. I have no idea what to say to these people. I'm super uncomfortable. I don't know how to communicate with other parents because mostly I want to be like, so I heard about your kid at school. Yes.
Well, tell us a little bit about like what does it actually mean to be an extrovert or an introvert? Because I think people kind of get a little confused about it. It doesn't necessarily just mean you like to be out in the world or not, right?
Right. There's so much more to it than like the social aspect. So growing up, I found my recharge time when I was alone, and I still get this. Whether it was reading a book or like playing video games, shout out Sega Genesis, dating ourselves there a little bit. Fast forward to today, and while I am more social, like I said, I have no problem doing presentations and things like that. I do still find myself feeling out of place at larger social settings. Like I really just show up to the Roladium birthday parties. Honestly, it's really, if we're being honest, it's really just kids' birthday parties. It is children's birthday parties and grad parties that make me really uncomfortable, and I'm really not sure what to say to anybody or how to start a conversation because I really just want to get them to buy a house from me.
I mean, it is a very classic internal struggle to be an extroverted introvert, but it's all about like what drains you. That's what I like to think. Like, what drains you? When I extrovert a lot, like what I was just talking about this yesterday, actually, I was like, I do Star Wars Realtor training in person, and I literally stand up in front of a room of, our new realtors or realtors that I'm training, and I talk from 10 a.m. to 4 or 5 p.m. nonstop until my face wants to fall off. And I do that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And when it comes to Friday, I like hit the wall. Like it drains me of every bit of energy I have. I love doing it. I'm excited about it. It brings me tons of joy, but it drains all my energy because introverts get drained from extroverting, and extroverts get energy when they extrovert.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm liking that. So, we're going to talk about the game plan that I mentioned for our elite lifers to help them tackle these social situations. So, I personally am taking some intentional steps to make the most of these social gatherings. And we're going to share that with you right now.
All right, what's the first tip? Give us the first tip.
Numero uno.
Okay.
Focus on others. This is one that has helped me a lot when I'm going to listing appointments. And so, like, I've been on a couple listing appointments where the husband and wife, they're not friends. They don't like each other. The tension is thick as concrete when you walk in the house. And so instead of getting caught up on worrying about how I'm sounding, how I appear, I've shifted my focus to try and make the connections with them and help them feel acknowledged and feel valued. And so that's what you want to do. It's all about opening doors for genuine conversation and memorable interactions. And when I say memorable, I don't mean memorable because they were scarring. I mean memorable because they were wins. And so by going into situations and instead of worrying about and we've said this before, like when you wear your pajamas to Tenuta's grocery store, nobody cares. They really don't care. They're not looking at you. Nobody cared that I wore space buns to the office. Nobody even noticed that day. Most people are just as self-conscious as you are right now. So instead of worrying about you, you have to remember they're worrying about themselves. So when you focus on them, give them a compliment or ask them an open-ended question, that's really going to help you break the ice and not feel like a weirdo.
Yeah, they say the best conversations are kind of like a game of tennis. You're going back and forth. And when I first started making myself get uncomfortable and go to more social situations and networking events
and hug people,
she
doesn't like hugs in real life.
I would actually, and now we have AI. We didn't even use this before, but you can ask AI or Google, give me a list of 10 engaging questions to ask at a kid's birthday party.
Ooh,
and
good, yeah.
Then you have some things in your back pocket of questions you can ask, right? Or if you're going to a reunion with your husband and you don't know anybody, you can say oh, were you in Ryan's class? What do you do now? Where are you from? Where do you live now? Oh,
Yeah.
What took you there? What does your spouse do? Do you have any children? And I would actually Google these lists of questions for the event I was going to go to. So I had some things to ask because you have to learn to be good at having conversations. You really do. It's a skill.
It is. And so that's kind of number 2, just asking thought-provoking, open-ended questions, keeping the conversation flowing. It's not about the yes or the no answers. It's about, like Trisha said, just keeping that tennis ball in play for sure.
I love that. It's a great analogy. And so let's go to tip number 3, which is give compliments.
Yeah, everybody loves I love when I walk in and Trisha's like, hey, you look great. I've never seen you in slacks and a button-down shirt. I'm so proud of you for getting out of your pajamas today.
Compliments help you connect, and it's a fantastic way to start conversations and make others feel appreciated and seen. Yesterday, I went to the doctor. And the girl that was doing my blood work, she was she was having a conversation with me, but you could tell it was just what she asks everybody. And she's kind of looking the other way and just going through her emotions. And I was like, I really love your shoes. And she was like, oh, thank you. And her whole face brightened. And then all of a sudden we are actually engaged.
We're actually talking to each other instead of going through the motion.
Yeah.
And it makes you feel good when you can make someone else feel good. You know, you never know when someone's having a crummy day. So it's nice to be able to share some niceness and spread the sunshine, rainbows, unicorns, all that stuff that Trisha likes. So on to tip number 4, remember names. This one hits close to home for me. I tell people up front, you've heard me say it, I am not a name person. I'm a face person. So even though you just told me your name, I'm not going to remember. But when I see you in Kroger's, I'm going to be like, hey, you, I know you. How do I know you, right? So I'm struggling to remember names is super common. So if you're on this boat with me, you ain't alone. We all on the ship together, especially in like overwhelming groups. Like, oh my gosh, like I remember the first time I went to Ryan's family gathering, and I'm showing up and I got these 2 kids in tow, and he's Irish, so there's just a lot of them. And and I'm sure he felt the same way when he met our Puerto Rican crew, right? So one thing that you can, I tell these people up front, one thing you can do is repeat names while having the conversation.
Yeah, I do this all the time, and also like trying to associate it with something. So I'll be like, in my mind, I'll be like, hi Kylie, my name is Trish, and I'm like, and then I'll be like, Kylie, Karate Kylie, and then it'll help me remember Karate Kylie. Like I
call that the Michael Scott method.
Yeah, there you go.
And I don't remember if it was an Office episode or if it was just a movie, but one thing that I like to do is, hi, I'm Kylie, and they say, hi, I'm Jan. Nice to meet you, Jan. What brings you here this evening, Jan? Or who invited you to I try to use their name right away. Mm-hmm. And then I still forget it when I see them in Kroger. So,
well, names are powerful. And speaking of power, tip number 5, be aware of your body language. What you're saying without saying anything is crucial. Maintain open and inviting body language to enhance how others perceive you at social events. So if you are standing in a corner and you have your arms crossed and you have an angry face on, don't be surprised if people don't come and talk to you. But if you're making eye contact and you're smiling, guess what? They'll probably want to engage.
Yeah, and it's not always easy because it means that we have to be aware of our body, and especially if we're in a crazy situation like a friggin' Roladium birthday party for the kids, like there's a lot going on. There's music, there's tons of people, there's roller skating, there's kids crying, there's games going off. So it might not always be the easiest thing for you to be aware, but you have to be aware of your body and just kind of be cognizant.
I think that I've learned not to invite you to a Roladium ever from this episode.
I don't mind it. I just it's just kids' birthday.
You're just an Akko Taco.
I think I'm just never hosting a birthday party ever again. But the one thing for me, like we've talked about before, is my facial expressions. It is very difficult for me to put a filter on my facial expressions. And so that is one thing that I'm very conscious of when I'm in these situations. I'm trying not to look like an awkward weirdo in the corner.
I really practice smiling all day, every day. And I do that because there was actually, in one of my psychology classes, they taught us about, there was a company in Japan and they wanted the people on the phones to sound happier. So they actually would have them hold pens in their mouth so that their face made a smile when they were off of calls, because they found that the more that they smiled, the happier they actually became. So it's like one of those like fake it till you make it kind of things, but it's backed by science and psychology that if you continue to make yourself smile all throughout the day, every day, you will actually feel happier more often. Right? Kylie's trying to make herself smile. And
I got
it
the
kind of
Grinch
looks
smile.
It kind of looks scary.
It's the Wednesday Addams smile. So last but not least, tip number 6, be an inclusive leader. Instead of wondering who will talk to you, see who else seems nervous. Because if I'm standing in the corner at the birthday party feeling like a weirdo, someone else is probably too. And one thing that I've started to do is I come in and I ask the birthday mom, do you need any help? Can I help you? Thanks so much for inviting, Casey. I really appreciate it. Can I help you? Mm-hmm. Like, that's a great way to break the ice. And not feel like a weirdo.
Yes. That's super, super good. So, Elite Lifers, as you gear up for this new year and all the networking events and all the birthday parties, don't invite Kylie, kids' school sports. Remember these tips to lead the way and make your social events truly memorable and something you actually enjoy, because if you try and you practice these things, you will actually start to enjoy them.
Yeah.
I like them more.
And one last thing I want to throw in is try to always find a way to talk about your business. So this is one thing that I've gotten really good at over the last year. I mean, I was at the gas station and I was on my way to your house. I was picking up some energy drinks because you texted me and you're like, I don't have any energy drinks. I'll love you forever if you bring one, right? Because Trisha's an addict. And so I'm in and I look gorgeous. Obviously, got all the makeup on, and I go into the gas station by my house, and Lee was like, "Oh, hey, honey, you look beautiful today." I use that as an opportunity to say, "Yeah, I've got my real estate podcast that we're recording today." Guy standing behind me, "Oh, you're a real estate agent? I need a rental. I need an investment." And I'm like, "Great, here's my card." Boom. Always try to find a way to work your business into the conversation. I try not to straight up come out and ask people, "So what do you do for a living?" Because that might be a weird thing for everybody. But I always try to find a way to work that in. So do the same thing. Find clients everywhere. You will find clients everywhere.
Yeah, I do the same. I'm always talking about real estate all the time. Today I'm showing a house. Tomorrow I'm doing an inspection.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's a wrap for today's episode, Elite Lifers. Thank you so much for joining us. Wherever you're listening, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit the notifications so you don't miss a thing, because we drop fresh content every single Thursday all across platforms, and you don't want to miss all the amazing things we have planned for 2024.
Yes.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us today on the Elite Life Podcast with Trish and Kylee. Don't forget to share this episode with a friend so we can keep delivering you more fantastic insights on grit, grace, and growth. Stay connected with us on Instagram and Facebook, where we'll keep the ideas flowing to help you build a life you love and leave a legacy you can be proud of. Until next time.